I achieved a grade 9 at GCSE Geography, and specifically in Geography Paper 1, I achieved 74 out of 88. And so I'll be giving you advice which I had to learn on my own to achieve a grade 9 at GCSE Geography. And this is going to be specifically for Paper 1. So, first thing you need to realize is, well, first of all, it should be a given that you know your content inside out. You should be able to memorize your dates, statistics, your place names, your locations, compass directions, all these things. All your facts and figures, all your statistics, you need to have memorized, and you need to be ready with this in your mind for your exam. Now, second thing is the actual thing I had to learn on my own, and that was to look and focus more on assessment objectives, AOs as they call it. So there's 4 of these which you need for GCSE Geography, and AO1 is your application of knowledge. You are providing your facts and figures, your stats, your knowledge. That is AO1. AO2 is your understanding, your geographical understanding of concepts and processes. This actually gets you quite a lot of marks in GCSE Geography for some questions, and that means that you have to be detailed in your explanation and be thorough in your processes. You need to explain this does this, and therefore as a result this does this, and so on, to explain the whole process in GCSE Geography. AO3 is your evaluating your analysis, your discussion. You do this and make a judgment on some sort of question, on any type of question that you're given, and this comes up more in 6 markers and 9 markers, and I'll explain why. But basically, you need to make detailed judgments based on analysis, based on evaluation, and that is what a lot of questions in GCSE Geography ask for AQA specifically in this case, as I did AQA GCSE Geography. AO4 is your skills and techniques. It's the basic things like reading off a bar chart and knowing what number to put down. So AO4 marks should honestly be a given for anyone doing this paper. Anyone doing this paper should be able to apply to get all the AO4 marks and do this with ease. So now I'm going to explain to you what I had to actually learn to do 6 markers and 9 markers. So first thing, 6 markers. 6 markers in GCSE Geography Paper 1 is always based on AO2 and AO3. So 3 marks are coming from AO2, 3 marks are coming from AO3 to make 6 marks for that 6-mark question. So what does that mean? Half of your 6-mark answer should be based on explaining the geographical processes or concepts or strategies, whatever the question's asking for, and explaining it geographically, like how it works. And AO3, the other half of your 6-mark question answer, should be on making a detailed evaluation, a analysis, a discussion, something like this, dependent on whatever the question is asking for. And the recommendation I have is that to treat 6 markers kind of like a mini 9 marker, where you have 2 paragraphs and then a short conclusion. The short conclusion it's okay if it's just 1 sentence, but by applying that short conclusion at the end of a 6 marker, you hit all the AO3 marks, and you can, aim for that 6 out of 6 for the 6 markers. The 2 paragraphs before should be going through your AO2 mostly, and also AO3. So explaining your processes and evaluating based on that, making judgments at the end of each paragraph, evaluating. And this is what should get you 6 out of 6 in your 6-mark questions. Next thing is your 9-mark questions. 9-mark questions are a combination of AO1, AO2, and AO3. So 3 marks AO1, 3 marks AO2, 3 marks AO3. And what this means is you get a third of your marks from knowing content, knowing your facts and figures, knowing your statistics, and applying it throughout your 9-mark question to show your expertise, and that fills up all your AO1 marks. Combining that with your geographical understanding of processes and concepts is your AO2 marks. So with each fact and figure, you explain why it does this, and you explain effects mostly, or whatever else the question is asking for, why something does something, and explaining, therefore, as a result, this does this, and so on. And you do that throughout your 9-mark question. AO3 is you, again, this is 3 marks. This is a third of your 9-mark question, and it is detailed evaluation and analysis, as I've explained before. It's like peel paragraphs. You must have some sort of structure like this. So your point, your evidence will be your AO1. Your analysis and explain will be based on AO2 and AO3 marks, and also link back to the question at the end of each paragraph to really make those AO3 marks firm. So you want to make a detailed judgment. You need an explained judgment, why you're making this judgment, why you're evaluating it this way, and you do that throughout. You have your paragraph for, paragraph against, and then your conclusion. Your conclusion, if you can, try and get one more point in there for your argument, and if you try and get one more piece of evidence of AO1 knowledge in that, and you explain how that proves your point further, and that should be more AO3 marks. So for 9 markers, generally you have this type of question where, to what extent, and do you agree? So therefore we have agree, disagree, and conclusion. This is the general 9 marker. Sometimes you have 9 markers like the one that I had in my paper 1. So I had a 9 marker for comparing animal adaptations to hot and cold environments. Specifically for me, it was cold environments because that's what my school chose to do. So for this kind of question, or other questions which have come up, like explain the geographical processes within tectonic plates which make plate boundaries, something like this. When this kind of non-marker comes up, don't forget that AO1, AO2, AO3 marks still apply. It's still 3 marks AO1, 3 marks AO2, 3 marks AO3, but they want to catch you out. They want to make you write out a whole explanation and not have any more to it, and that catches you out because you lose marks, because you don't realize you still need your AO3 marks, and that is what gets you the full 9 marks for your 9-mark questions. So last year I had that question on different animals and different plants and stuff and their adaptations to cold environments. And I knew it was a 9 mark because I was thinking, okay, even though it's just asking for adaptations and it's 9 marks, I know that I need to get more marks in. So I was, after explaining all these things, all the adaptations, I was somewhat evaluating. I was saying something like, okay, as a result of this animal is more adapted and this helps because so on, and as a result this animal is more adapted, something like this. This is what gets you your AO3 marks even when you can't. And just try and be evaluative and analyzing to make some sort of judgment, and you should be golden with this because you are hitting all the marks. This is a pattern I've realized by analyzing mark schemes, and it's that it's a 3AO1, 3AO2, 3AO3 for the 9 markers in geography paper 1. And this applies for any type of geography. This applies to any kind of 9 mark question. So apply this, get this down for your exam, know your content, know how to do the 6 mark questions as I've explained. It's very similar, 3AO2, 3AO3 marks, and get the grade 9 for GCSE geography. At least for geography paper 1 you can perform well. Geography paper 2 and paper 3 are somewhat difficult, and I might make a video on them after. We'll see how it's going, but yeah, this for geography paper 1, this is what you need.